Divergent thinking is a thought process used to generate creative ideas by exploring many possible solutions. It typically occurs in a spontaneous, free-flowing, non-linear manner, such that many ideas are generated in an emergent cognitive fashion. Many possible solutions are explored in a short amount of time, and unexpected connections are drawn. Welcome to Minds in Formation. Crush it. Glad we got these waters.
Yeah, these are good.
Yep. I gotta find a way to redecorate down here at some point.
I don't think I've hung out down here before.
Yeah, it's I don't know. We do like poker and stuff down here, and it's just a random room, but I feel like it has a lot more potential. I would like to make it more comfy, like a cool hangout room. Probably put a couch somewhere and a TV so you could watch the game down here, or I don't know, just make it more functional.
Yeah, that's a nice space. I like it.
Yeah, it's a decently sized space. Eventually, we want to do remodels across everything. And if it's this house, because it's a split level, we'll just break it up into one level at a time. Come through, tank this whole floor, like rip everything out, rebuild it, and then do it to each.
Did you do it yourself?
No. I do some myself, but not tons.
Yeah.
I do love when people have that capability, though, to like just
dive in and just start doing it.
Yeah. I do with some things, but I couldn't like totally remodel a house. That'd be too much for me.
Yeah. Maybe if I didn't have a day job and otherwise it would take 8 months.
Yeah. I mean, if you could devote all your time to it and just, I guess you could teach yourself a lot along the way and get help here and there when you needed it. But yeah, you'd have to be pretty dedicated. All right, cool. So I'm gonna read a fun fact. Like I said, I just pick one of these each time, and sometimes they're fun. So this is like a throwback. Today's November 16th. So on November 16th, 1940, in the dead of night over Nazi-occupied Europe, the Lockheed Hudson bomber, piloted by British officer James Paget Wallace, became the first aircraft to deploy the revolutionary airborne cigar, a top-secret electronic jammer codenamed Tinsel that broadcast engine noise on German radio frequencies, sowing chaos among Luftwaffe night fighters during the Blitz. This makeshift countermeasure, born from a piano wire looped around the plane's exhaust and a microphone in the cockpit, marked the dawn of electronic warfare, blinding enemy radar operators and saving countless Allied lives in the months that followed. Declassified decades later, the operation's ingenuity, using sound itself as a weapon, remains a stunning testament of wartime improvisation under pressure.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, have you ever heard of that?
I mean, no, not how it started.
Yeah,
I never used a wire and an engine noise and a microphone. That's crazy.
Yeah, and somehow like broadcast it to their radars, like doing, like they said, electronic warfare. So you're jamming their signals, but at the same time doing like psychological warfare because you just hear the Allied planes incoming blaring on your radio.
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck?
That would freak me out.
Yeah, big time. It reminds me, I mean, just that noise. I bet that's how soldiers in Ukraine feel about the noise of a drone now.
The drones,
You hear that and you're like, holy shit, that's like pure panic, right?
I can't even imagine what those guys are going through.
It's nuts.
That war.
It's nuts. It's just gnarly to see, because if you would ask me a few years ago, I was starting to think like, and maybe I was just being overly optimistic, but I was like, maybe larger scale conflicts are kind of behind us. I was like, it seems like nations are like getting along better and better, and there's hot spots that pop up, but maybe bigger national conflicts are kind of a thing of the past, which of course the rate of huge wars is much lower than it used to be a long time ago in human history, right? But I guess that was naive, because now here we are and there's another like European war and there's video of all of it.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. Like it's so visual for everybody, right? Like World War II was just, you heard about it, or there was some footage that you could watch later, but now it's almost live streamed, right? Like,
yeah, I see clips from Ukraine all the time. Yeah. Like anytime I open up Instagram, and I guess I follow a few military accounts and things of that nature, so maybe it just kind of creeps into my algorithm a bit. But yeah, the amount of just raw battlefield footage you can just watch.
Yeah.
on social media even is nuts.
It's crazy. I haven't done any of that, so I don't know what that looks like. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably better off. You don't do social media at all?
I do. I have Facebook and I have Instagram, but I'm not on it very much. I don't really post. I mean, sometimes I'll take some pictures and post them on there, but I don't do it a lot. So
Yeah. So you're not a guy that gets sucked into your phone the way that some people do?
not so much. No. I mean, I'm on my phone a bunch, but it's usually looking up stuff. How do you do this? How do you do that? But
Yeah. It's not just wasting time, doom scrolling as they call, just like
No.
flipping through like social media or bullshit videos, just wasting away.
I mean, the videos can be fun sometimes. Like Katie, my wife, she'll find these videos and share them with me, and we'll crack up about it. But no, I don't do doom scrolling. I get bored.
Yeah.
But
Do you have an alternate version? Like, what's your time waster? Like, is it something that you find yourself doing? You're like,
man.
I probably shouldn't do this, but I do it anyways because I love it.
I mean, not so much. I mean, I'll go into rabbit holes and search for, whatever, whether it's like, how do you do this, or, news, or, as you go to your YouTube page, you'll see like a bunch of video links pop up, and I'm like, what's this about? And then I'll follow up on another video after that, and I get sucked in.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I guess that's how it's designed, right? It's
Right.
designed to get your attention. That's what the whole purpose of an algorithm, to keep you going. Like eyes on screen equals dollars, basically,
Right.
in our advertised internet.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's fun. I don't do it all the time, but that is one thing that I can get sucked into.
It's dope, though, because it's so helpful. Like YouTube videos,
Yeah.
I mean, have helped me through so many
Oh my God. Yes.
projects and situations that I had no clue what I was doing going into it. But a couple forum posts here, a couple of YouTube videos there. And next thing you know, I'm like diving into this thing. And a lot of times it works out pretty well because there's just people that are helpful. That'll be like, I'm going to make a how-to video of how to like clean this very specific lawnmower carburetor or something. And you're like, sick. That's exactly what I need to do.
And what's crazy is that people actually do that about that specific lawnmower carburetor or whatever it is, right? Like,
Yeah.
when you think about it, like, why would anybody post this? But there it is, and it's available for you to watch and learn from and be able to help you.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about it.
I love it. And I try to follow those pages and like give them a
Support
like.
them,
And,
yeah.
I'm like, oh, dude, sweet. Or leave a positive comment. Because I've had a ton of those videos help me. And it's like, this video has 3,500 views. Like, nobody's seen this because it is this ultra specific weird thing. But again, super glad it exists. It's saved my skin.
Yeah, I did. I put a radio in my truck, and I was trying to figure out how to get the wire through the firewall. I'm like, oh my God, how do I do this? And YouTube helped me out. So, yeah, that's cool.
Do you work on vehicles and stuff a lot, or do you try to do that kind of work on your own?
Yeah, I mean, like, not mechanic stuff anymore. I used to when I was growing up, but now I can't keep track of all the electronics and stuff. It's mostly just modifying my truck,
Yeah.
stuff that I can do easily without having to be hardcore mechanic.
Right. Yeah. Like put on a new bumper or something like that.
Yeah,
Or,
yeah.
Yeah.
And not dive into the transmission or, put in new suspension or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's beyond my level of wanting to dive into it.
So I feel like maybe suspension wouldn't be too bad, but I would never want to be messing with the springs myself. Like I've seen videos of those things going
Popping,
haywire.
yeah.
I mean, they have some serious force on them.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would freak me out.
I stay away from all that.
Yeah. And I worry with something like that I'm going to mess something up, and it's like the consequences are kind of high.
You're not going to be able to fix it by yourself, right?
Yeah. Or you're going to do this thing, and if you mess something up, and you're going to hop in your truck and you're going to go 75 miles an hour down the interstate, and whatever you did snaps off.
It blows up on you.
Yeah. It could be a really bad time.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, even though I know it's a little bit more expensive, I feel better about just taking my vehicles to the dealership and letting them do the maintenance. And most of the recommended stuff, when they say, hey, it's been like 30,000 miles, do this, unless I know it's like probably not necessary.
I'm trying to sell you on something.
Yeah. I'll be like, yeah, just go ahead, do it. Like, keep it tip top. Like, I want that thing to be ready to go all the time. Yeah.
I'm the same way. I mean, I used to, I think a lot of it has to do with, can you afford to do it? And now that I'm older, I can, when I was a kid in college or whatever, that was never an option. But
yeah, you go to like Jiffy Lube or
yeah,
like there's a sale.
Yep, $20 for an oil change or whatever. But
yeah, they're like, your radiator really needs to be flushed. You're like, you don't know what you're talking about. Deny.
Yep.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I mean, it has gotten more complicated, though. I used to love to work on my vehicles and stuff like that. I think that was one reason I really like to work on my motorcycles. I had a Cruiser a while back.
Nice.
And it looked cool. I loved to ride it. It was so fun, and hang out with other people that ride bikes. It's like just a whole community thing that people be like, oh, you ride bikes? I ride bikes. Let's hang out. And you're like, all right, cool. But anyways, doing a lot of the modifications and customization work on that. Pretty easy to work on. It's pretty straightforward. It's all right in front of you. And that was a blast. But again, my new truck, they're like 2024. Like I'm not touching it. I'm not touching.
Open the hood. You're like, what is this?
Yeah. Nope.
Computer controlled and all that.
Yeah. I'm just calling help anytime anything happens. Yeah.
Yeah. It's my dad is. It's funny because he's what, 75 now, and growing up, he was always working on our cars. He'd never take them in or whatnot. He'd always do it himself. And now, he's a lot older, but he's like, I don't want any of this newfangled stuff, and I don't want any computers in my car. I'm just gonna get something I'm like, well, you can't really find that anymore, right? All that stuff, those old cars are either super expensive because they're now classics, or you just can't get them.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I don't know. I guess it depends on what you want. There's maybe a few. If you wanted to get a 15, 20-year-old Toyota, you might be all right. You're just like, I want an old school Tacoma or something like that. You might be able to find one. But yeah, I know. It's kind of pointless. That's like one of those battles that you can't really hold on to anymore.
Yep.
You're like, I want an old school car. You're like, well, there is no more old school cars. Just like maybe someday they'll be like, oh, I wish I had a gas car. And we'll be like, dude, nobody has gas cars anymore. Yeah. They're like very rare, maybe on a few farms or something.
Yeah, that's definitely where things are going, isn't it? Like 5-10 years, we're probably going to be all driving electric cars, and or maybe not even driving them ourselves, right? They'll just take us where we want to go. And
I hope so, dude. Honestly,
really?
I hope so. And it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. Because there's still, in like truck driving, right? You have like the long haul, and then they talk about like the last mile, and that's like the much more complicated part. But what if it's the other way? Like you're using FSD when you're in cities and stuff, but then you get out like in the boonies and you want to go on like a dirt road, or you're going up to the mountains, or it's like, I don't know, whatever. How's that that gap gonna work? Yeah.
Yeah. I love driving. Like I love driving my truck or my car or whatever, just going out on the road and doing it. I can't imagine just sitting in the back and letting it happen.
Yeah. Yeah, there is like something lost there, but at the same time, I don't know. I guess I think about the positives of it, that it would be much safer, especially if we're talking at this point, if all the vehicles are autonomous on the road.
Right.
They're
all
can
talk to each other.
Exactly. They're all on the same network or whatever. Crashes become almost non-existent outside of animals running into the road or environmental circumstances. Like there's a patch of black ice that they didn't predict or whatever, But so it'll be faster too because it's more efficient. And cheaper because you don't pay any maintenance, and the cost per mile is supposed to be really good. If it all pans out according to some of these models, because the vehicles are relatively cheap. There's plenty of them, and then when you're not using it, your vehicle can go out and do other rides, and it's also like bringing income back to you. So it can just kind of create this almost free transportation loop, that everyone can participate in.
I like the idea. I just. I've grown up my whole life, all the vehicles we've had, everything, something always breaks on it, right? So sitting back in the back seat and imagining my car driving down the road and, in a snowstorm or like, I have a hard time trusting it.
Yeah.
I mean, AI is getting really advanced and, technology, but stuff always breaks, right? My computer always crashes.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I guess time will tell. And it's not going to be perfect. You know, there are going to be mistakes and mishaps. And because I've wondered as well, as of right now, all the Teslas are relying on cameras, like pretty much exclusively. I don't even know if there's any radar or LiDAR or any other systems. I think it's all camera based, if I'm not mistaken. But don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. But yeah, again, take driving here in the wintertime when the roads are slushy and shit. Even when you're driving, like your lights will like over time get covered up and it's shit everywhere. Sometimes you have to like stop and take care of it and kind of clean everything off. So if all those cameras are getting gummed up, like what happens?
Yeah. My truck, I mean, I have those parking sensors and stuff on it, and in the wintertime when it's slushy or icy, whatever, they'll get covered up and it'll beep at me. Hey, it's covered up. You got to fix it. I'm like, well,
yeah, exactly.
Better do that or else something's going to go wrong.
Totally. Yeah. All your safety sensors go down. Your like automatic cruise control distance radar thing goes down. Anything that relies on that outside input. Yeah.
Oh, well, it'll be fun to see what happens. I mean, I love technology and
yeah, me too. And it's like, it's inevitable. So it's one of those things where wanting to cling to back in the day is like, it's not going to happen. It doesn't matter. This train is rolling.
Yeah, it is.
Whether you want to be on it or not. And regardless of what the destination is we're going as fast as we can towards it.
Crazy train.
Well, what do you think with all of it? AI increasing and everything that it can influence, which we're quickly realizing is a lot. I mean, we're sitting here talking about FSD. It's like that's all AI backbone. So it's revolutionizing all of these things. Do you think it's positive or negative? And what do you kind of think the road towards it is going to be?
I think it's both. I mean, there's a lot of great things coming out with AI, right? I think there's a lot of opportunities for it to be, used in a way that's not helpful for people though, like, with the advent of quantum computing and AI mixed in with that, like there, security and privacy and all that stuff, who knows what that's going to look like, but it's probably going to get a lot harder to be more private. And, also, I think there is a factor, like, everybody talks about the machines taking over. And I think, if we aren't careful and we get too much control to these intelligent things that we're building, that might happen, right? Like, no matter what kind of safeguards you build in, machines can, even now they've talked about computers trying to, like the AIs they're building, trying to get out. And, I don't know. I'm not an AI specialist. I don't do programming, but, I can see that happening and it worries me a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't want a Terminator, come to life kind of thing. Not that it would in the same way, but if we hand over enough systems to computers that are intelligent enough, then, we might have some problems.
Yep. Yeah. We don't know where we're heading. It's completely unknown.
It's kind of cool. I'm excited about it, right? There's so much that can be done. And
and it's like powerful, like positive potential as well, like things that can completely revolutionize
medicine. And it's amazing.
Yeah. So Elon's doing the Optimus robot as well, right?
Right.
And he's making all these big claims.
Do you want to buy one
again? Probably not until later on. But at some point, at some point, it might become one of those things where it's so helpful that it's like you're losing money if you don't have it, right? I could see how it could potentially get to that, because he's talking about it's going to create such abundance, like what it's going to be able to do for you, and like it can essentially be your doctor as well. Like if you needed to interface with it, it could help you out, and you can do certain operations.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Because it would be essentially all-knowing in a way, because then it can access the entirety of our information because it's all on the internet.
Yeah.
Just like we're talking about how you can go do some forums and watch some YouTube videos and you can learn how to clean your carburetor or whatever it is. But if it can do that almost Matrix style and like just download like how to reset like your knee. It's like, oh shit, Calex, you just dislocated your knee. And like, do you want me to help? And you're like, yeah, please. And you're like, all right, hold on. And you're like, wow, thanks, robot.
That's crazy to think about it.
Yeah.
It's like the cartoons from when I was a kid, right? Like,
Yeah, like where you have your family helper,
Yeah.
or it's like, the less fumbling, bumbling version of a C-3PO. Everyone saw Star Wars back in the day.
Yeah.
He's just like your helper that's around, but he wouldn't like walk so stupid. He'd like walk normal, like have a normal body, normal mechanics.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, and if everyone has one, and it can take care of so much, I mean, yeah, I don't know. And then what does that even mean if your robot can do so much for you? It's like, what does even money start to mean, or when this technology becomes so powerful, and if everyone has access to it? Yeah, because you could just put your robot to work. You could have it figure things out. It could source things for you. It could sell things for you. It could start a new online retail business for you.
Yeah. All while you sit there and watch TV.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, what are people gonna do eventually?
That's the
with their
big
time,
question,
right?
though.
Like,
Yeah. Well, what would you do if you had nothing but time on your hands? You had an abundance of income. Someone's just like, here's a blank check. You can do whatever you want for the rest of your life.
well, it's like winning the lottery, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Good question. I don't know. I think I'd probably spend my time at first, right? Because you probably go through stages of it, right? Because you've spent your whole life like working, and all of a sudden you don't have to anymore. You don't have anything to worry about. I think,
Probably an adjustment.
yeah, there'd be some kind of transition to have to go through, because you'd wake up the next day and you're like, well, what do I do with my time, right?
Yeah.
So you'd probably have to figure that out. But there's definitely some things that I'd like to do. Travel. I'd like to see a lot of this planet that I haven't seen. But I think where I'd end up is trying to help people, right? Figuring out ways to, we got a lot of problems in this planet, and trying to find ways to help people that don't have access to that. Because
All right. Well, I'm gonna
Yeah.
reframe the question then.
Okay.
That's good. That's a great answer. That's wonderful. But let's assume everyone has the equal access.
like global.
So in this situation, nobody needs help. Everyone's good. So it's like the question is, what are you going to do for yourself?
Wow. I'd probably try and learn more stuff, like whether it's, I don't even know. You caught me off guard with this question.
Well, it is a tough question, and I don't have a solid answer for it either. I even went through a little bit of a experiment with it myself.
Really?
My last year in the Army, I might have told you this before, but I did a 20-year career in the Army. On year 19, because of the organization I was in, they were like, you get your last 12 months to just work on transitioning. You can just do whatever you got to do. You do not need to come to work. You just do whatever you want.
Really?
Finish your degree, go get technical certifications, go do a, internship at, X company, do whatever you want. It's like an amazing opportunity, right?
Yeah.
But I knew that I was going to be able to get a job and that would all pan out. So I just took it as my own little sabbatical, essentially. Took a full 12 months, after working every day since I was like 15, right?
Yeah.
Had an entire 12 months off. And, there were good times, there were bad times, but it was more difficult than I thought it was going to be to completely just manage your own time and answer that question for yourself. Like, what do you want to do? What would make you happy today, Matt? And you're like, I don't know. Everybody else is working, so I'm like kind of by and that was the one thing that I kind of realized after I went through this whole cycle of like, what do I do with myself? I've done every project around the house. I did my honey-do list. There's nothing else for me to do right now. I'm just like
in
walking
the first
around
week.
in circles. Yeah. And you get there relatively quickly too. But that was like my realization is the problem with my freedom in that circumstance was I didn't have anybody to share it with because everybody else is still on their normal schedule, just as busy, 40 hours a week, basically. Even though she's working remote, I can't be in there like fucking hassling her all the time.
Bothering her.
Yeah. So if it was everybody, then you would have people to share it with. So yeah, how do you do your time? I think pursuing like art or creative endeavors, any type of sport or competition that you might have ever been interested in, or just hobbies, if you just wanted to explore every hike throughout Colorado, or
Right.
fish every river bend, or whatever, or go start a dog farm, or whatever you want
all
to
of those
do.
things, right? Like
Yeah.
every hobby I have, I'd be into. But at some point, I think I'd want more. Like because, like you said, everybody else is working. Well, yeah, and even if the world became that way, everybody would be in the same situation, right? Trying to figure out what to do with their time. So maybe relationships would get better with people, because now we're not, we don't have this thing called a work where everybody's so much of their daily hours are spent like engaged or away from, their family or the people they're around. They're going to be forced to then be like, okay, well, how do we adjust to this new life, and what do we do with each other?
Yeah. Yeah. Which kind of brings up even, I guess, a deeper version of the same question, which is like, what is like the meaning of life, or what kind of things give you a sense of purpose? And it is probably the fact for most people that their career gives them a significant sense of purpose. And it's just the way society is structured, because, we have to provide for our families. And so there's a lot that goes into it, but a career is a big part of people's purpose. So if you, all of a sudden didn't have that at all, like what do you backfill that with? I mean, it'd be good, maybe, if it's right for you, maybe like a spiritual pursuit, having a really tight family and friends, ideally, having people that you feel like are like a part of your tribe. That would probably be really important. And then I guess something to pursue, something to work on, something to work towards. That's why I say like athletics and creativity and things of that nature, because we seem to be designed to need to like grind a little bit,
Right?
Like we
Gotta
can't just
have
be
a
like,
purpose.
it's fine. You can't just live at the hotel resort for the rest of your life and like have margaritas every day. That might be cool for a few days, or maybe even a couple of weeks, but then you're gonna be like, all right, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, every time I go on vacation, if it's like any length of time, right, 5-6 days where I'm away, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go home.
Yeah.
I come back to some sense of normalcy, but I was thinking, as you were talking, I was thinking, okay, so think about it from an adult perspective, right? But think about the children going forward, right? They're going to grow up in a world without any need for, them to actually work and strive for things. So how do we mold them and teach them like life does have a purpose, and you should find what makes you happy, and otherwise it's going to be a planet full of lost people, right?
Yeah, because then what does this? Everyone just become like super nihilistic or something, and nothing matters. Like, who cares?
That's a really interesting line of thinking.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it'd be nice to figure it out that way, like to have the luxury of being able to wrestle with such an endeavor. Like I have everything is provided. Because, I mean, if you think about it, throughout the however many hundreds of thousands of years that humanity has existed, most of that you were fighting tooth and nail to survive.
Just to survive.
Yeah.
Where do I get my next meal?
Yeah. Or like, how do I not freeze to death or get eaten by a fucking saber-toothed tiger or whatever, Or like somebody, my son has a disease, or my wife's got an infection, They're just going to die and you can't do shit.
Yeah. Humanity would be a much different race, I think, if we didn't have to worry about anything like that.
Yeah. But we're already like in that ballpark in a way. I mean, at least if you're born in the West, I would say like,
right. First world country kind of thing.
Yeah. Like you don't really have to worry about food and shelter. I'm just like generalizing here. Obviously that's not the case across the board, but in general, I don't know what the percentage is. 95% at least have shelter, a place to sleep, and are not starving to death.
Right.
You might not have like an amazing meal every day, but you're not starving to death for the most part, again. So yeah, we already don't really have to worry about that. We're not keeping the wolves at bay. We're not freezing to death. We're not starving to death. We're not just getting random diseases or infections and just passing away in droves, our survivability is super high and relatively comfortable. So you could argue that we already don't have to worry about that stuff that much.
Yeah.
You know, when was the last time you hunted because you had to?
Good point.
Right.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah. But yeah, we do seem to be designed to work on something or towards something. And if you don't have one, it probably gets pretty weird.
So I spent a portion of my career working in the oil industry, and I worked when I was living in Alaska. I worked on the North Slope on drilling rigs, and our shifts were 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, 7 days a week, 12-hour days. So when you were on work, you were working all the time. But when you came home, it was kind of in that ballpark, right? Like you didn't have anything to do from a work perspective. You had 2 weeks off. You do whatever you want. You were still getting paid. And so it was quite an adjustment going from a normal, 8 to 5 job to something like that. Because when I did come home, everybody I knew was at work. And I basically just had the day to myself to figure out what I was doing. And it took me a while to find a groove, and mostly it was honey-do lists and things to take care of while everybody was at work, and then in the evenings you could hang out. But yeah, it was kind of a weird time in my life.
Yep. Yeah, it's strange. Yeah, I'm still working on it, trying to figure out what the answers are to these things, because I want to look for like a change in my life. I've done my military career and my job is cool or whatever. It's fine that I have right now. But I want to do something different. I want to do something a little more maybe unconventional, or be able to travel around more. Maybe only working part-time and doing something that's just kind of I find fun, that I'm more personally interested in than just something I'm trading time for money for,
Yeah. So are you working towards that? Is it something you see in the near future?
Yeah, near-ish. I don't have an exact countdown or anything on when I'll execute that plan, but there's some outside factors. Like we're going to be trying to have a baby, we're going to be getting married, so we got to kind of figure that stuff out, because ultimately my responsibility is to my family first, and making sure that everything's good to go and everybody's comfortable and whatever. So that'll have a strong say in how that all looks. It's somewhat market dependent to a certain degree. It depends on how some of these investments are doing and things of that nature. And what I can kind of figure out as an alternative way of pulling in a little extra money.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, because I did my career, and now my job, it's very similar, and I'm in a similar environment. I still am working with the military and everything. Like I said, it's great, but I'm like, I kind of would like to change it up,
Try something new.
Change of scenery, yeah. And maybe like tech is still involved, but in a different capacity. Like I had a buddy that talked about working for the Forest Service. He was like an independent contractor, but he was like a IT guy. And he'd get one of the company trucks, and he'd just cruise around on all the back roads and climb the radio towers to do maintenance on like the radio repeaters and maybe even some of the cell equipment or whatnot. But you're just kind of cruising around out in the forest, like, just doing maintenance. That sounds
like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Like program all the radios back at the base, just make sure everything's good to go.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to get there. I mean, I've spent my whole life working in office, so it'd be nice to try something new. And challenge for me is, what is that?
Mm-hmm.
And, would I be able to support myself doing it, kind of thing, right? I have a lot of fun hobbies, but I don't think I can really turn any of those into, an income where I can travel around and do what I want. So I'm still trying to figure that out.
I know that's the tricky part is you have this career that you've built up over years, and you have decent earning potential. And as romantic as it is, the idea of like just flipping and changing something new, you have to be ready for like a pretty major shift in lifestyle potential. If you don't have all your other things in order, obviously it's case by case dependent and goal dependent too. Like, what do you want to do? Because I mean, for me, and this was just because I was in the military, and I stayed in and did a career. and got my pension, if I wanted to just hang out and just go fishing and go hiking and stuff, like I could, but that would be kind of it, you know, like I wouldn't be able to like go take trips and, you know, I'd have to limit.
Remodel your house or anything like that.
Yeah.
You'd be
Yeah.
like, okay,
Yeah. I'd have to.
we're scaling way back here.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd have to be pretty low key. So it's cool to know that I could do that if I wanted to, you know, that the bills are paid and everything. But, yeah, it just depends on what you want. What do you want to do in that situation? And I wouldn't want it to be like too tight because, again, I want my family to have good experiences and, you know, be able to go take vacations from time to time.
Yeah. Got to enjoy life, right? Not just live it.
Yeah. Yeah. And as it stands right now, of course, you know, like we were talking earlier, we don't know where society is heading, but as it stands right now and as it's always been, you know, as a person with a family, like I have to put myself last, you know, like, so if the family needs something, if the kids need something, especially if I have another baby, if that extends my timeline, I'm like, hey, you got to work for X number more years because all this baby shit's expensive or whatever the case may be. I mean, that's what it is.
What you got to do?
Yeah, if you're a dude and you have a family, that's what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're just a bachelor out doing your own thing, that's a different story.
Totally different
right?
story. Yeah. I didn't know you guys were going to have a baby. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Or try to.
Yeah, we have to take some extra steps because I got snipped a long time ago.
Okay.
And the doctor was like, "There's no reversing that, so I got to do that whole a little bit of this, a little bit of that,
mix it all up."
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. That's great.
Yep. Yeah, so it'll be interesting. There'll be a huge age gap between my kids.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So if it happened, if our timeline kind of sticks, if we had a baby at the end of next year, at the end of 26, my youngest son would be 17. So I'd have a 18-year-old, a 17-year-old, and a newborn baby.
Man, that's a trip.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be crazy. But I'm good with it.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
Can't wait to meet the little guy or girl.
Yeah, we're hoping for a girl. And I think because we're doing IVF, even though it sounds a little crazy, I'm pretty sure we get to pick.
Oh, really?
Yeah, as long as we have X number of embryos that are like viable and they're like, okay, these ones look good. They pass the genetic screening. There's no major red flags for any genetic conditions or, you know, like any problems. Say you have one boy, one girl embryo, I'd be like, which one? And you'd be like, the girl.
Wow, that's cool.
And that's what we're planning if we're given that option. Because I have two boys and she wanted a girl anyway, so I was like, okay, perfect.
That circles back to our technology discussion, right? Like, you can pick what you're going to have.
I know.
It's pretty amazing.
I wonder if at some point people will be doing full-fledged like designer babies.
Just draw it on a computer screen. Like, this is what I want.
Yeah. Just have like ChatGPT generate an image of a person that looks perfect. Yeah. Like, make my baby like this.
That'd be a trip.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd do it. Other than, you know, make sure it's disease-free or, you know, no issues health-wise or genetic-wise. But
then what if everyone was doing it? And what if like all the kids were like wicked smart? Like they're all
like Galaga the movie, right? Like, was it Galaga or?
I don't know. I'm not familiar. I'm sure
Ethan Hawke or Ethan Hunt was in a movie a long time ago about he was born naturally, but his brother was genetically engineered, and so he was always in competition for that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because if we got that good at manipulating genetics, like using CRISPR or whatever, and if you could get to that level of detail, because of the way I understand it, like it doesn't work that way right now. People think you can just turn off and on the gene that gives you blue eyes, and it's like it doesn't work like that. They're very intertwined, and there's only so many, so it takes a very specific manipulation. But if we got to that level where you could, and then like every child was born was like super intelligent, super athletic, like looked perfect, you know, like everyone's just like beautiful, like look amazing, no defects, no one gets like cancer or anything because they don't have any of these like mutations in their DNA code.
Wow.
Yeah, it'd be a trip.
That would be. I almost think that, I mean, humanity at that point would then just be generic, right? Because everybody would be at that level. There would be no differentiation between people. Other than maybe looks, right? But
Yeah.
They'd all be perfect health, super intelligent, and
Yeah, there'd be no like competition anymore. Yeah.
uh,
Well, I wonder if
cool
you
to think
could
about.
use it for. I mean, I feel like there was a show that kind of did this, or no, they. I think they showed The Expanse. Like, I don't know if you ever watched that one. It's like
Yeah.
some outer space show,
Yeah.
but people started to evolve to different. Where they were, like if you were a miner, you like their bodies like started stretching out, and they were used to less gravity. But maybe that would be something that would happen with like space travel. If we became more of a spacefaring species and we were setting up on different planets and different like moons or whatever, maybe you would genetically modify certain populations in certain areas to like better
To adapt to environments and stuff like that.
yeah, essentially. Maybe. I mean if technology was good enough, I mean I suppose you could.
Yeah, and why not? Right? Like, if you lived on a high gravity planet or something, you need,
Yeah,
your
and
bodies would need
bigger
to,
and like more
yeah.
dense bones and stronger organs and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
versus like evolution, you'd make it much quicker, right? And
Yeah,
more
yeah, exactly.
easily adapt to the environment and be able to live there versus,
Yeah, speed running evolution. Yeah, that's a trip.
I kind of wish I could do that to myself.
What'd you do?
Oh, I don't know, just make myself smarter, and
Hey, you might be able to at some point.
take
But
a
might-
pill. Wasn't there a movie with the guy from The Hangover? What was his name?
Bradley
took a-
Cooper?
Yeah, Bradley Cooper. He took a pill and it made him super smart.
Yeah.
And then after a while, he took enough of them and he didn't need them anymore, and he could do all this stuff. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, you might be able to, but it's probably most likely going to occur with an implant, like a Neuralink type
Oh,
device or something. So maybe it wouldn't necessarily be increasing your organic level of intelligence, but you'd have access to almost any information like instantly.
Or even just your whole brain, right?
Yeah,
'Cause humans only
potentially.
use such a small part.
Well, I think there was some pushback on that. Like people used to say, like you only use 10% of your brain or something like that. But
Has that changed now? People
yeah,
think
yeah,
differently?
yeah. I
Okay.
think the script is flipped on that. It's like, yeah, your brain's doing shit all the time. Some of it's background, some of it's at the front of what's going on in your like immediate cognitive experience. But like it's doing shit all the time.
Yeah.
But there could be certain things that we could do that we maybe don't realize we do or lost the ability to do, like things like psychics or people who
Right.
think they can what is it like
Move things
remote
or-
view or telekinesis, or I mean maybe there is some level of brain or some certain type of brain that has access to something that we don't fully understand.
That'd be a trip, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
If you could talk to people with your mind
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
or
Yeah, it
see
would.
things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, getting the chip, like the Neuralink thing, having access, I mean, that would be similar to like a super intelligence, right?
What does it get? I haven't done any research on that. So what does it actually do for you? The people who are
Well, right
trying it
now,
out, wanting to.
what it's being used for is to help people that are paralyzed. And it's acting as like an interface. So for instance, there's been a couple people that have been completely paralyzed from the neck down, like they can't move anything. Then they got a Neuralink, and they're able to interface with their like computer and devices and things like that with only their mind.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and it got to the point where one of these guys was playing one of these shooter games like Call of Duty or something like that, and he was actually pretty dang good at it because the relay, instead of having the relay of information from brain to fingertip to game stick to the system,
It was direct.
It was direct to the system, so his aiming was like even faster than probably you would normally if you're using your hands.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's a kind of a thought behind it, is that it may be able to help with like reattaching some of those nerves, like getting people the use of their body back, or helping people with certain types of blindness and things like that. As long as like you keep learning more and more about the brain and how this thing can interface with it, and then eventually you could possibly get to the point where then you can access like vast amounts of information in real time, maybe even like your own personal AI agent, that would be like kind of helping you like in your head. You like run these simulations for a situation. You're like, to like help you figure out like a complex problem or something.
That's cool. So we're getting to the point of cyborg, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Which maybe for some, going back to how much you use your phone question, some people say it's almost like we're tiptoeing with it now. Because how many people you're with your phone all the time? You use your phone all the time, whether it's for work or for fucking looking at titties, whatever. You use your phone a lot.
Yep.
And so we're right on the cusp of, just interfacing with it directly.
The world's going to be a trip.
Yeah. Yeah. Big time. All right, man. Well, I think we'll wrap it up. I appreciate you coming by for a chat.
Yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate this. This is a cool experience.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good time. All right, buddy. Until next time.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps the show out. See you next time.